So do you have any resources that you recommend for someone, getting into this, pretty much obviously, from the beginning, or is it more of a just get out there and get your hands dirty and start talking to people kind of thing?
Well, the IBBA, right, the International Business Broker Association, I definitely recommend, and EXP requires that you join that. And they have a very good educational course offering. And so there are 3 courses that are required by EXP commercial. And so they require you take, I think, 104, which is, 104, 107, and 119. One of them is legal aspects. One of them is kind of an introduction, and I'm not sure what the other one is, maybe marketing. But IBBA has a wealth of education out there that you can buy. The educational courses they're not free. They do cost. However, IBBA also has podcasts that are out there monthly that are free for the members and possibly for non-members. They also have a library of webinars. And so anything that you want to learn about business brokerage, you likely can learn from the IBBA. Once you become a member, you could go into that webinar library, because I would expect that they've got a webinar on almost any topic you want to learn about.
They do. It's a great source. I mean, I don't resent having to pay the IBBA for a membership fee, because you do get a lot out of it for sure.
Okay.
Well, the IBBA, and so EXP has negotiated a special rate with the IBBA. So members can join for $299, which is, I think the regular membership fee is like $549 or something. So it's a little more than half, but but the benefits that you get through IBBA are worth substantially more than that. And so, you get a free subscription to Vault Rooms, which is a data room that you can use. You get a free subscription to the Business Reference Guide online. And so anytime you're looking at, a business, whether you want to list it, like, for example, John, you were just asking about this job shop. And that's basically what I don't believe they manufacture. It's a manufacturing, but they manufacture parts for aerospace.
Right.
But I don't believe that it's their own parts, right? I think they manufacture parts to spec. So they're really a job shop. And so you go to the Business Reference Guide online and you can pull up manufacturing and look at all the rules of thumb and the information. There's questions in there that you can ask, owners of manufacturing companies. And then they have general manufacturing, they have manufacturing like metal fabrication. Then there's another one that is job shops. And so when you pull all those up, you get a lot of information that helps you to ask more intelligent questions, to know some of the questions to give you or prompt you to ask certain questions. Plus, the different rules of thumb of what the multiples are going to look like when you're trying to determine what might be the value of this business. And, you can kind of group together, okay, well, this is general manufacturing rules of thumb. This is job shop rules of thumb. This is, metal fabrication. Okay, let me make sure that whatever number or whatever value I come up with kind of fits in and is in the ballpark of these, because if you're way out in left field or right field, then you might have an issue. So Business Reference Guide is a very handy tool to have access to. And again, that's free with your IBBA membership. And I'm trying to think of there's BizMiner, which is another benefit that IBBA gives you, is you can do, I think 5 reports every year or something. So there's just ultimately, the benefits that you get from joining IBBA are worth, like, if you had to buy them individually, probably around $4,000 or so. For the $299 that you're paying for the membership fee, it's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, you get that back in spades. So
Is that $299 a year, no monthly fee?
correct.
And then of
Correct.
course the cost of the classes to be
Yeah,
able.
the course of the classes and the first 3 classes that EXP requires will run about, I think, $579 in total for the 3 of them. And then look, if you are serious about becoming a business broker, ultimately you want to continue taking courses through the IBBA and work towards getting your CBI designation, which is a certified business intermediary. And in order to get that, they have a series of courses that you have to take, and then you have to do some transactions, you have to attend conferences. So, and in order to maintain it, once you get that CBI, you have to do continuing education and you have to attend conference. So it's something that, you know, they, people who are serious about business brokerage, that's usually where you're going to find them, is in the IBBA and in M&A Source. And M&A, both of those organizations are under the same corporate umbrella. They're just like sister companies. It's just that the IBBA focuses on Main Street transactions for the most part, where M&A Source focuses on middle market, lower middle market and middle market transactions. So the education is geared differently, because how you deal with, you know, how you deal with $1 million manufacturing company versus how you deal with a $10 million manufacturing company is different, right? Because your buyers are going to be different for that. So in M&A Source, you're going to learn, you know, the requirements, how to create a SIM or a confidential information memorandum, different types of buyers. Now you're dealing with, you know, now you're dealing in M&A Source with maybe some individual entrepreneurs, but more than likely you're going to be dealing with private equity firms, family offices, search funds, and also strategic buyers. Right? Somebody who already owns a similar company, and maybe they want to expand either vertically or horizontally with maybe the company you're selling has a product line that's very synergistic or has the same target market of the products that they sell. So it would give them the ability to cross sell through their existing distribution channels and sell more, right? Increase their revenue that way. So there's, you know, and that's why M&A Source and IBBA coexist, is so because there's a lot of brokers like me that started off selling Main Street businesses and then decided at some point I wanted to work with a little bit larger businesses, and how you learn to sell a liquor store or a dry cleaner or whatever doesn't work the same. You need a different set of education in order to sell, you know, those other companies, the larger companies, and deal with the different types of buyers. So both organizations are very good, and I belong to both. I still go to both.
M&A Source is coming up soon, right? Their
M&A Source conference is coming up in November in the actually it's going to be in San Diego. So the IBBA has one conference every year in the spring, and it moves. This past year, you know, this year it was in Denver. M&A Source has 2 conferences a year. We have a spring conference and a fall conference. Spring conference, IBBA and M&A Source run together, so that, you know, if somebody goes to the IBBA conference, they just stay through the M&A Source if they want to, and then the M&A Source conference in the fall, you know, but it relocates. So I think the spring conference next year for IBBA and M&A Source is going to be in Orlando. So be closer to you, Tyler.
Yeah.
You just hop down to Orlando.
Yeah. Just right down the road.
But the fall conference is in San Diego, so it's closer to me. And Keith. All right, so anything else? got a couple minutes to go here, or we can give them back to you and you can get on with the rest of your day.
Yeah, so is this something that you do regularly, I guess? Are you, you know, are you kind of heading this up as a initiative through EXP commercial, or what is the whole plan for this Zoom?
This Zoom meeting is not, so EXP, John and I were doing a business broker roundtable on the 1st and 3rd Wednesdays of the month in EXP World in the commercial auditorium. That recently changed. So EXP University only wants those once a month now. So we're doing them on the 1st Wednesday of the month. We do this Zoom conference or the Zoom call on the 2nd and 4th Wednesdays of the month, just so anybody who's interested in business brokerage or any new business brokers that have, you know, that have deals that they have questions on or whatever, you know, we can just get together and try and answer questions for them or help them out. And, you know, like today, the whole thing with the E2 visas came up, and that's great. You know, that's awesome. It's sometimes we've had other calls where somebody's working on a transaction and, you know, maybe they've run into a snag and they're wanting information on how they might be able to resolve that issue. And so anybody that's on this Zoom call can certainly share their experience and their knowledge, and we encourage that.
Okay, and what was the one called that you do in the world, or when was that held?
In the world, that's on the 1st Wednesday of the month
Okay.
at 10 o'clock, and that's a business broker roundtable.
Okay.
And yeah, and that's in the commercial auditorium.
Gotcha. Okay.
I personally like Zoom better. I like to see people, and you know,
Yeah,
I'm old school. I don't necessarily, the cartoon character thing doesn't really float my
I like
boat.
the world idea. It's a good idea, but there still needs to evolve a little bit to be a little bit more personal.
Yeah. So, all right.
All right.
Well, thank you, everybody, and you know, hope you got some good information out of it.
Thanks for
And
the contribution.
yeah, and we will see you next time.
Take care.
Take care, everybody.
All right, have a great
blessed
week.
All right, we'll see you.
All right.